Hey everybody, your career engineer right here. Don't get anxious, get prepared. Make sure you hit us up, tcenow.com, for everything to help you not be anxious but prepared. Today, we're going to be covering some resume tips, some do's, some don'ts, some tricks, and some won'ts. So get your pen or your paper, or if you're high tech, get your device, take some notes. But the main thing is get this stuff into you so when you're ready to put your brand out there, you can be a rock star. So don't go anywhere. I'm going to come like right back, like ready, like watch this, like here I go. Told you I'd be right back. So listen again, your career here, and we're going to share some really good tips and tricks so we can make sure that everyone is not anxious but prepared. That's what's going on. So let's jump right into it. The resume is still, even though we have, all this stuff now with, new tech and LinkedIn and all that kind of good stuff, the resume is still the gospel. It hasn't changed and it won't change. So let me dig into some things so you can know exactly what to do and how to get there. Hold on, I got some things for you. And as I shared earlier, tcenow.com, go there. We have a newsletter, we have a subscription, we have new job leads that we put out every single week. I think in the newsletter we did this week, we did about 200,000 jobs, and we'll forecast someone. So if you haven't subscribed right now, of course, subscribe to my YouTube channel, but and subscribe and follow us on all our platforms. But definitely get the newsletter in your inbox. You can always unsubscribe, but why would you? But you get a free gift too for being a part of it. So make sure you check that out. And again, our TCE Summit is coming up January 2nd of 2021, right? So if you listen to this after January 20, it's still a good content, but the summit's coming in 2021. Get your free ticket by using promo code FAITH. It's free. We're trying to do our part to help folks who are going through right now because it's a whole lot happening and we want to be a blessing and not a burden to folks. So tcesummit.com, check it out. Hit promo code FAITH. You can come free if you have been impacted by this pandemic and going through a little bit of a tough time. So bottom line, what are some TCE tricks and tips for this resume? One thing I want folks to get that is very important, I think if we lead with this one, maybe it'll let the rest of it flow into place. But a lot of folks believe the resume gets you a job, and that's the biggest falsehood on the planet, right? It's never was designed to get you a job, but it is supposed to get you a meeting, which is also known as an interview, or a call for an interview, or an email to schedule an interview. That's what's supposed to do. So if it's doing that, you're doing great. However, if it's doing that and it's not in the market you want, then you still need to work on your resume. So when you're writing it, we don't need chapter, verse, your whole life story, but we do need to have enough good content for you to get a meeting, also known as an interview. So that might help folks who think you got to put everything in there. Okay, very important. And while we're putting everything in there, which we really shouldn't, just the stuff that matters, it's because it's your marketing brochure. Think about entrepreneurs, or think about, let's say you're getting ready to go somewhere, you're going to go to a party. Well, that was before COVID, but you get what I'm saying. If you're going to go somewhere or spend money somewhere, or spend some time somewhere, you're going to check out their brochure. You're going to say, ooh, I like the way that's set up. Ooh, I love the colors. Wow, this is what they're offering versus this other space is offering this. Let me compare the two. You know why you do that? Because you're reading, you're looking at content, you're looking at value, you're looking at the way it looks aesthetically, but you're also seeing if it really makes sense, if it's speaking to you. Well, employers do the same thing. So when you're designing this, think of it as your marketing tool. It's very important. It's a snapshot of your gifts, your talents, your knowledge, your skills, your abilities, and whether or not they like you. That's still very important. But here's something that you can, which is important too, that I jumped into something for a minute, but while, size does matter, because I know while we're doing things and I'm reading people's brochures, yes, size and fonts do matter, y'all. But while I'm reading people's brochures, if it's that little, you're trying to squeeze everything on one page, and then you can't read it, right? I mean, I wear these things not just to be cool. I got to use them to see. So a lot of people are like me. So don't try to squeeze it in these little teeny weeny little fonts, make it readable. I mean, actually, there's some conversations now that the bigger the font, the 13. Well, it's depending on who the market you're looking for. If you've got folks that's reading your document, that's going to be folk that's over a certain age, you might want to change the font, right? So again, it's all about readability and things of that nature. And there's a couple of fonts that really seem to work. You can Google this. I'm not going to tell anyone what font to use, and you can Google what's the best fonts for resumes. However, these are some I see all the time. I mean, Calibri, I never say that right. Calibri. It's default. Everybody uses it in everything. So yeah, you could use it, but everybody uses it. You know what I mean? So you might want to do something a little different. Whereas Georgia is very popular, looks good, but guess what? It's popular and everybody uses it. So I kind of stay with safe. I'm a safe girl. Arial looks good. It can be read no matter what, no matter how you save your document, whether you're Mac or PC. It doesn't seem to lose its value. So I kind of stay safe with that one. But there's lots of fonts out there. Verdana. I mean, there's lots of them. But just watch. Don't be too graphic-y. It needs to be clean and crisp and easy to read. That's the main thing. But pick one that does work. And a big one that everyone seems to ask me this all the time, about the side, the length, 2 pages, 1 page, it's just 3 page. Okay, I've got 25 years. I got 2 years. So here's the rule, and I use the word rule very carefully, but no more than 2 pages. That's kind of a guideline, of more of a rule, unless you really have some significant stuff. I mean, Elon Musk, he might can do it in 1 because he's just a little off that way. But you know what I'm saying? He could have a 2 page. I have a 2 pager. I'm not trying to get all my stuff on 1 page. I won't even try it. But 2 pages is fine. But here's the deal. It's about substance. It's about content. Don't have, but you've been somewhere 1 year and you're trying to make it a 2 page. I mean, I will read to the 2nd page if there's some content, something worth reading. And that's where my performance, my accomplishment, and leadership, the PALs I talk about all the time. If you have significant PALs, performance, accomplishment, and leadership, and that's really all the resume should have up there, then you might go into 2 pages. But if you've been at one company for 20 years or 10 years or 15 years and you've done one thing, or maybe 2 things, the 1 pager might work for you. But what I don't want people to do is squeeze it all in, thinking you've done something when no one can read it. But just like with any good rule, of course, there's exceptions. Of course, there's exceptions. And here's the only time when I'll tell you that a 2 pager will not work. And that's, again, for those of you who are into CVs, academia, you're teaching, you're working, you got your PhD or your master's, you're trying to be a professor, you're trying to get with a think tank, you're trying to, you have published articles, you're in that academia process, you're in that higher education, higher learning space, working for some institute or something. You're going to need a CV because they want to see all the places you've published and all the research you've done and all that. So that's going to be more than 2 pages. The other time it's more than 2 pages is the federal system. If you are ever thinking about a government job, it's going to be up to 6 pages. They want everything and some more. So that's okay for those 2 words. You still have to have performance, accomplishment, and leadership in all of them. But again, the length is going to be different for those other guys, right? That's the way that rolls. So I hope that this has given you some tips and tricks and do's and don'ts with the resume. One other thing I want to add, that even with your aesthetics, again, clean, crisp. I know there's a lot of noise out there about put your physicalities on your resume, or do the video resume, or do, like, if you're put some different graphics and pictures, and all you're doing in the 8 seconds online or the 30 seconds offline is taking away from your substance. Yes, I am not a Generation Z. I'm not a millennial, but I'm all about substance, style or substance. If you can have both, go for it. But if you got to make a choice, substance, because people hire you based on substance. Haven't we seen things where folks got hired and didn't have any substance? They had style, but didn't have any substance. Boy, does that rock the world, okay? So again, stay away from too much distraction. Clean, crisp, clear, and if it's fact-based and substance-based, you'll always win. So listen, thank you so much for joining us today. Make sure you subscribe right here to my channel. Check out the videos on my YouTube. Follow us, TCE Now, just about everywhere else on the planet, and you can find everything about us there. I thank you guys for being a part of this, and we'll have new content every week. Yes, I'm looking for something, but anyway, you guys be blessed. Have a safe week, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.